Good afternoon and welcome to the on-location shoot of the Norristown Varsity Baseball versus Chichester. This is the District 1 playoff game, and this will be the first game in that series. So, baseball is about ready to get underway here. We have both teams talking at home plate. The lineup today for Norristown will be Ian Hammer at shortstop, Matt Martello at right field, David Lavecchio, who's our catcher, Mark Pinchok at third base, Stephen Parker at left field, Luke Stem at first base, Ryan Moore, who's our pitcher today, Brandon Bell at second base, and Anthony Offey at center field. Norristown baseball this year is 9-5 with that's 9 wins and 5 losses. They rounded out the end of their season with a loss and ended up in second place overall. Which has not really happened much for Norristown in years of late. This being one of the better teams in the past 5 years. So still talking it over there at home plate, going through all the rules, going through the safety regulations of the field, talking about what we're going to see today. So we have our lineup here for Chichester baseball. Actually, we have the whole team. So we have Joe Perry, a senior, Zach Zelwitzky, also a senior, Kyle Toomey, 10th grader, Bill Marriott, a senior, Paul Smith, a senior, Vince Chevrolet, a junior, John McMullen, a senior, Chris Gaspari, a junior, Brandon Zebley, 10th grader, Tyler Connison, an 11th grader, Eddie Speakman, 10th grader, Ryan Timms, an 11th grader, Warren Wildley, a 12th grader, Steve Perry, 10th grader, Shane Menison, a 10th grader, and our only freshman today for Chichester, Nick Krawinski. As both teams huddle up here on a beautiful Monday afternoon at Norristown Area High School, we wish the best of luck to Norristown Area Baseball and Chichester. So Norristown runs out onto the field as they will be on the field first. So here's Norristown warming up, and Ryan Moore throwing some hard heat. Ryan Moore is a 10th grader, if I am correct. And so he's got 2 more years left of baseball here at Norristown. So being this successful, playing in their first playoff game when you're only a 10th grader should be pretty good for him, since he can only get better, you know? All right, so we're about to get underway here. I just want to go through a little bit of the crew today. We have Samantha Pitkin, who will be our lead switcher today. She'll also be rotating through cameras. We have Joel Limbowen up on our high shots. And we have Rich Mack in our outfield. He'll be covering us for most of the afternoon. And, of course, Andrew Turner, myself, commentating for the day. So first up, we have Joe Perry, and a strike is called. Lots of chatter out there for Norristown. Also, we got 2 strikes down so far for Chichester. And our first ball, so the count 2-1. Oh, I'm sorry, 1-2. 2 strikes, 1 ball. And that's high. So 2-2 is the count. Wind up. And he swung. Oh, it was a tip. So Joe Perry with a foul tip. Still hanging in there with 2 strikes, 2 balls. Really putting the bat out there, chasing that one. That's a ball. That's in the dirt. So full count for the first batter of Chichester, Joe Perry. The pitch, and it's down. So we got a walk. First batter's a walk. So here's our second batter for Chichester, Paul Smith, a 12th grader. Ooh, tries to get him at first. And he's in there. He's safe. So good eye. Always looking over at first base there, Ryan Moore. Ooh, and back again. Trying to catch him when he's not paying attention. No luck so far though. Now we have our ball. And there's a strike. On a swing. Oh, and they're going to try to throw him out at first. Oh, overthrown. Overthrown at third. Joe Perry running to third. And he's safe at third. So Joe Perry on an overthrown ball tried to steal second and went to third. So we have 2 strikes to the Chichester batter, Paul Smith. And that ball's high. And that's a ball. So another walk. And coming up now, we have Bill Marriott, also a senior. So 2 men on for Chichester. No outs. Score 0-0 in the first inning. And that's a ball. And a hit into right field. Matt Martello has the ball, throws to second. So 1 run scores for Chichester. So Bill Marriott, senior from Chichester, with 1 RBI today, with a RBI single. Again, Chichester up 1-0, Norristown in the first inning. So we have Brandon Zebley, a 10th grader for Chichester. Strike 1 is called. 2 men on at first and second. The count 0-1. Ball high. Count 1-1. And a hit far back center field. And that ball's out of here. Home run. 3-run home run for Brandon Zebley, a 10th grader at Chichester. Bringing the score from Norristown 0, Chichester 4. Bar far, far back, way over the fence. So Brandon Zebley, 10th grader at Chichester. Number 16 there with a 3-run home run. One strike. That's a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. Swing and a miss, 2 strikes. And no outs still in the first inning. Ball hit foul. Watch out down there, folks. So, ball foul, still 2 strikes. Ball high. Ball 4. So another walk. Catcher Dave LaVecchio going out to pitcher. Talk to him, try to calm him down a little bit. Maybe figure out something. Still no outs for Norristown. And 4-0 Chichester in the first inning. Norristown's really going to have to rally the rest of the game if they get in any more of a deficit. First pitch is ball high. Trying to throw him out at first, and he's safe. It's a close call there, though. It could have gone either way. Ball foul. Going up. We have 1 ball and 1 strike so far. And there's 2. So 4-0 Chichester in the first inning. Hit down third base line. And we have 1. And he can't get 2. So 1 out. Still, we have 1 man on. Number 23, Eddie Speakman, a 10th grader. Who's going to switch runners there. He's going to switch runners with number 13, John McMullen, a senior, who seemed quite happy to go run for him. Up now, we have number 12, Vince Chevalier. First pitch is a strike. And Coach Teeter calling time for Norristown. So umpire going over to talk it over with the ref, maybe a roster change or something like that. So a lot of folks out here today for both teams, both Chichester and Norristown. Chichester fans getting happy early with 4-run scored in the first inning so far. Looks like we're about to start the game again after that little delay. Seems there was a problem with the the matter of the switching the runners for the for the first base run there. So they called for a bunt, and it looks like the ball thrown far into center field, and they still hold 2 people on now. Nobody advanced, so lucky break there for Norristown. 2 throws overthrown so far by Norristown. Swing and a miss. Foul tip. Which is that's 2 strikes so far. Here's our third pitch. Ooh, hit. And couldn't get it. Is second baseman Brandon Bell. Ball rolled past him. So full bases are loaded right now. And we have coming up number 30, Ryan Timms, an 11th grader. So we're going to have Coach Stocker come out and switch pitching in the first inning. So 1 1/3 innings pitched by Ryan Moore. Again, bases loaded for Chichester, and the score is 4-0 Chichester Norristown. Looks like Coach Stocker's going to bring everyone in, talk about what's going on, see if they can fix something out. And C.J. Douglas will be the new pitcher on the mound. So he'll warm up while Coach Stocker talks to the team. Beautiful, beautiful weather we have today for baseball. Great day for baseball. It's a little cold, but still, sun's out, wind's a little low, but it's these guys aren't complaining out here. They're all having a good time. So we're about to start our game again with number 21, it looks, or maybe number 31. 31. Number 31, which is Warren Waldley, 12th grader at Chichester. Now we're going to have 30 up right now, which is still Ryan Timms. He was up before the pitching change. And a hit. Far center field. Ball's going to drop. And center fielder has it. 1 run scores. 2 runs score. Hold him up at second and third. So 6-0 Chichester. Still in the first inning. So we're going to switch out our runners for number 30, which was Ryan Timms, for number 15, Chris Gaspari. First pitch. Ball. So counts 1-0. Batter up now is Warren Wadley, a senior at Chichester. Pitch number 2. It's in there for a strike. So still 2 men on at second and third. And the score 6-0 Chichester. Still in the first inning. Strike number 2. Ball hit up in the air. Runners in first. So caught by Brandon Bell. So we have 1 out now. So batting around the order now, we have Joe Perry coming back up for Norristown, for Chichester, sorry. Ooh, runner's halfway down third. Looks like he's going to get thrown out at third. Safe at third. So good reaction time by the catcher. Oh, out. Okay. So we have different calls on either side of the field here. Umpire's in a little bit of a struggle with the call. So there is an out at third there. He was running home and got caught off his guard. Thought the bunt was going to be laid down for him, and it wasn't. So Joe Perry for Norristown tried to lay down a bunt and didn't get the bunt, but his man was thrown out at third. So 2 outs now for Norristown. And a hit right to the pitcher. And Luke Stem gets the 3rd out. So Norristown coming into a 6-0 deficit with their first time up. So we're still in the first inning here, folks. A lot of baseball to come. So Chichester comes out to warm up today for their first time, going in with a little bit of a morale high because they They've scored 6 runs in the first inning with one home run and a few hits to deep center field. So Norristown's going to have to show for that or fall behind. So first up here for Norristown, we have Ian Hammer, a senior at Norristown Area High School. Ian next year will be attending University of Maryland, and he'll be a kinesiology major. And pitching today for Chichester, we have Ryan Timms, an 11th grader. Here's the first pitch. And it's low. So 1 ball, no strikes to Ian Hammer, Norristown's first batter today. Ball high. So 2 balls, no strikes. Ian hit. Ooh, and second baseman can't get it, so Ian's going to stay on first there with a good leadoff hit. Second baseman diving for the ball but missing. Second baseman today for Chichester is number 7, Bill Marriott. Up now from Norristown, we have number 4, Matt Martello. Ball. Pitcher checking first base, see how far Ian is off that. And Matt Martello with a hit. Looks like it's going to be a double play, though. So hit into a double play is Matt Martello. So no men on now for Norristown. 2 outs for Chichester. Now we have number 24, which is Dave Lavecchio from Norristown, our catcher. Foul tip. Back over the backstop there. So 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And a hit to the shortstop. And he's going to be thrown out at first. So 3 up, 3 down. So here we are in the second inning. Norristown warming up. Chichester warming up for batting. With us, we have Mark Kolodinsky. Mark, what about that? How about that first home run there for Chichester?
Yeah, well, it was a really rough first inning for starter Ryan Moore, and not a good game for him to not have his best stuff. But as that one's blooped into left field for a base hit. But the Eagles just have to forget about that and try and rebound. They have a very tall hill to climb, but if they don't do it, it's their last game, so they might as well go all out.
Yeah, so beaming ahead there with a first hit single to left field was number 11, Paul Smith. So Chichester very, very fired up now with 6 runs on the board and Norristown with none. How do you think that's going to play out in the later innings?
Well, again, Norristown just needs to get base runners. Really, that's all that's important. Try and get some walks. Try and get some guys on. Don't try to score all 6 runs at once because you can't do that. Just try and pick up 2 here, 2 there. C.J. Douglas has relieved Ryan Moore, and he's been solid thus far.
So still 1 man on for Chichester. And a high ball hit back over the backstop. Thrown and out at second base. Dave Vecchio finally with an on-point throw. Nails the guy out at second. So 1 out so far for Norristown. So Norristown waking up a little bit. Ball 4 is thrown. So we have another base runner. And number 16 comes up, Brandon Zebley, a 10th grader, hitting that magnificent home run in the first inning. Ball 1 thrown. Ball hit high to left field. Oh, and there seems to be no communication between outfielder Mark Pinchak and shortstop Ian Hammer, but the out's there anyway. That could have gone much worse, Mark, couldn't it?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you, it's better that they both went for it than that neither of them went for it because it's really embarrassing when 2 guys are there and it falls right in between them. But, yeah, fortunately, both able to get up and shake it off. It wasn't a hard collision at all, and they record the out.
So batter number 2 comes up, Mart Sawitsky, and he nails on that his third base coach right over the head of him. So 1 strike so far. And Dave Lavecchio making a motion at first base, but the runner ran back, so he was there.
Well, C.J. Douglas just looking a little wild right now, and fortunately the Chichester hitters are chasing some of his pitches and hitting into outs, but he needs to start throwing a little bit more strikes. He's done a fine job since coming in, but if there's something you could pick on him for, that's what it is. And there he gets the batter to chase.
And that'd be 3 outs. So let's see if Norristown can put some runs on the board now. And yeah, just what Mark said, they definitely need to get men on base and then just get base hits and then try to score some runs. So it's going to be a tough game. Nothing's going to be easy here today for Norristown.
Yeah, absolutely not. Of course, with the early hole, they've dug themselves, and of course the pressure of a playoff game. So again, they're just gonna have to keep fighting, keep clawing, try and get back in this one.
Quite a bit of fans here today for both sides. It is a beautiful day for baseball, so maybe that encouraged it. And it is the first playoff game that Norristown's had in a couple of years, so um, it may not turn out in a win, but they got here, and that's what's counting so far.
Yeah, they really took a huge step forward this year, the Norristown baseball did. Of course, the conferences realigned at the beginning of the year, and Norristown thought that they could perhaps make the playoffs, and it didn't sound realistic at the time because they're coming off so many straight brutal losing seasons. But here they are, and now people are gonna have to start to take them a little bit more serious. So however it ends up, let's face it, this team may not contend for a state title, but however it may result, it's just a huge step forward for the organization.
And also, we mentioned earlier that the Ryan Moore of Norristown, he's a 10th grader, so he's going to be there. He's got a few more years, so.
Yeah, Norristown's gonna miss some of these seniors. Dave Lavecchio, Stephen Parker, among others, but they do have a nice core of some of those players coming back, like you mentioned.
Yeah, definitely. We have Brandon Bell, Anthony Noffi, just to name a few, and they should hold the team together just like the seniors have this year, because we're losing Ian Hammer, Matt Martello, Dave Lavecchio, Stephen Parker, Luke Stem, and a few more. But as far as starters go, that's 4 right off the bat. So they're gonna have to again realign themselves. But Norristown's pretty good at adapting to that in that regard. So. Wild pitch there. Foul tip, and the ball's hit back, so 1 strike. And a hit to the shortstop is Mark Pinchot, and he'll be thrown out at first. But he made contact. So a lot of Norristown batters making contact. We have no Norristown batters striking out yet. We have 3 contacted hits, but Chichester's just on the ball today, literally, and throwing everyone out, or getting in a double play as we saw earlier. Swing and a miss for Stephen Parker. And a high foul ball. Pop back. Counts 1-1. Contact made yet again into the gap is Stephen Parker. And they're going to hold him to a single, but man on for Norristown. Luke Stem up for Norristown. Luke will be attending Westchester University next year for sports medicine. And swing and a miss.
Ryan Tim's on the mound right now for Chichester, and I'll tell you, he throws hard. So, man, he's got that 4-seam fastball. He's just a hard thrower, and Norristown hitters have to make adjustments.
Norristown's done they've done a pretty good job so far at how far they've done. Everyone's been getting hits. No men have strike out, and there's Luke Stem getting on base for the first time today. So 2 men on now for Norristown. And like what you said, Tim's there. He's doing some heat, but Norristown, they're making contact, but they're all like short grounders. So those last 2 hits were the first 2 into the outfield gap hits like that.
Yeah, they're getting it done. I mean, it's not always all about how hard you throw. I mean, people always talk about the difference between throwing and actually pitching. And I mean, you can throw as hard as you want, but hitters at this level usually are going to be able to catch up to you. Uh, it, it's more about using your mind, trying to fool hitters, using your off-speed stuff, using your breaking ball, and trying to throw the right pitch in the right count. And that's what has to be the challenge for Ryan Timms, because we know he has the stuff, he has the velocity on his fastball.
So looks like we got a little maybe a rule check or something out there. Ref's talking it over with Coach Teeter, seeing what's going on. So we're about ready to get back underway with C.J. Douglas coming up to bat.
Of course, Douglas took over for Ryan Moore after a brutal first inning for Moore.
And the pitch interrupted. Brandon Parker was pretty far off the bag, but when Timms turned around, it seems like his second baseman, Bill Marriott, he wasn't there, so the pitch was never thrown. Swing and a miss for the first pitch to C.J. Douglas. Contact was made on that one, but it was foul tipped into the glove.
Timms in this at bat just so far, overpowering Douglas with two high fastballs. Got him swinging, and on that one, just got a tiny piece of the ball. That's all he's gotten so far.
So 2 strikes and no balls so far. And CJ lets that one pass on by for a high ball.
Yeah, he tried the same exact pitch, that high fastball, but this time Douglas able to lay off. That's a tough pitch to lay off, that high fastball.
So many players swinging at that and making contact today, though. So Douglas trying to fend off too, but couldn't. And so Norristown pitcher hit by a pitch and loading the bases for second baseman Brandon Bell.
And this is exactly how you get back in a game. You hit a couple of balls on the ground, get a hit batter, and now they'll allow John Kitt to run for Douglas since he is the pitcher. And now next thing you know, you have the bases loaded, and with Brandon Bell up, he represents a run that would make it 6-4. I mean, it's a ways off to think that he could come around and end up scoring, but they got a chance now. That's all they're looking for.
Foul tip to Brandon Bell. Count 0-1.
Brandon Bell, of course, one of those returning players that you talked about who will be back next year for a senior season. He's had a heck of a season out of that 8-hole in the lineup, getting on base at an outstanding clip as he takes that one for a ball. He's just so good at drawing walks, and just one of the most patient hitters in this Norristown lineup.
Pitch. High fastball again, swung at.
Of course, it's going to be a hard at bat to draw a walk in with the bases loaded, but let's see what he can do.
Brandon Bell with a high ball hit to right field. Ball's caught, and it looks like Stephen Parker's going to score. So he tugged up and ran in. So still 2-man on. John Kitt, and it looks like Luke Stem at third. So 1-run score. So now the score is 6-1. Chichester, of course, in the lead.
And first base coach Brian Stocker talking things over with the base runner John Kitt. Perhaps he might have wanted him to advance to second on that throw to the plate, but really with the deficit they have, it's not a risk worth taking at all. Maybe if it was a 2-run game and he represented the tying run. That's not the case. So I don't have a problem with him not going. But here he goes now trying to steal a second.
And he's safe there. Very, very safe. Stand-up steal for him. And yeah, of course, Mr. Stocker wanted him to go to. Coach Stocker definitely wanted him to get the second on that pitch. But hard to read was that throw. It bounced quite near first base, and that was why Stephen Parker was able to score. So you do get a run out of it, and now you advance. So the universe in baseball realigns itself.
Of course, John Kitt, the junior with outstanding speed. One of the main reasons he's on this team, those legs that he can be dangerous with out there on those base paths.
Antonoff taking a ball there. His team cheers him on for how good he is at eyeing up those pitches. And Antonoff draws the walk. So yet again, bases are loaded, and we have our leadoff hitter Ian Hammer, who's 1 for 1 so far today with a single.
Definitely the hitter the Eagles want up in this situation. This could be a huge momentum changer. I mean, if he could line a double into the gap and plate a couple more runs, I mean, boy, now all of a sudden that lead that looked so big is quickly evaporating if you're Chichester. But let's see what Ian Hammer could do.
And he takes that one high for a ball.
We'll have a little meeting on the mound with Ryan Timms and his catcher as they try and figure out how they want to go after the shortstop Ian Hammer.
Well, it's no doubt with the next two pitches, next two batters up, Chichester's definitely going to have a little trouble with it, especially with bases loaded, since Martello and Hammer were both on base earlier. Oh, I'm sorry, Matt Martello grounded into a double play, but Matt Martello not one to usually do that. Usually the person on, and definitely Ian Hammer or Matt Martello you would want up in this situation. So I don't think it's going to get past Matt Martello again. And a high ball popped definitely foul directly into the stands. So nobody was hurt on that one, and the count is now, I believe it's 2-1.
Tim's there trying to go to something off speed. We've seen him come in there just time after time with the gas, changing it up a little bit there, but unfortunately couldn't find the strike zone.
Yeah, he definitely slowed things up there, but brings the heat very next pitch and right into the gap. That's just what Norristown needed, and looks like they're going to hold at second, and 2 runs will score on that. So just what we needed. Now 3-6, Norristown Chichester. We have number 11. John Kitt and Luke Stem scoring from third. So John Kitt scoring from second almost reached Luke Stem at home plate. So definitely that speed you were talking about earlier, Mark.
Yeah, definitely a lot of speed for him. But boy, who would have thought that this early in the game, Norristown would already be bringing the tying run to the plate.
And there goes number 7, Antonoff. He's on third. And it looks like they're safe at first, so the bases are loaded yet again. And Dave LaVecchio coming up. Dave LaVecchio walking up to the plate now, taking his time, of course, because the timeout was called, I believe, so that he could get ready for them coming up. He needed to take off all his catcher pads because he was not expecting to get up again.
Yeah, well, now Norristown climbing back into the game, and now they got the meat of their order up with LaVecchio, Pinchak, and Parker. 3, 4, or 5 hitters now, starting with LaVecchio.
And LaVecchio takes a ball low.
Ryan Timms can't mess around too much here. He really doesn't want to walk him. That lead's not big enough for him to do things like that anymore.
And ball hit, and it looks like they're going to try to get the force out at second. So with 2 outs and bases loaded, Dave LaVecchio hits it right to shortstop. But it's okay because we are hanging on still with the score now being 3-6 Chichester in the lead. So definitely a good inning for Norristown. They need more innings like that, especially not with the first inning the way it looked, possibly not getting any runs. The first 3 batters up for Norristown, and then right down again, they were taken off that. So we'll come out and warm up, but Norristown definitely feeling better.
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed. They just need to get some runs on the board. Now they're got some momentum on their side. The deficit's trimmed to 3, and all of a sudden, not looking so grim anymore. They got some hope.
All right, so first up for Chichester, we have number 23, Eddie Speakman, 10th grader. High ball to right field. Looks like Luke Stem's going to come back from first base and get the out. And the team's going to throw around a little bit, you know. Another ball hit very high and foul, and Mark Pinchak's going to get the second out. So 2 outs so far, 2 batters up, 2 batters down. Norristown definitely getting. We can feel the momentum change in the air here. Tight inside is C.J. Douglas's pitch on Ryan Timms. Of course, the other pitcher for Chichester.
CJ Douglas keeping the Eagles in the game as that one is inside for a ball. It's 6-3 Chichester, and again CJ Douglas relieving.
So the team cheering him on there, and he seems to be. So there's the walk. So 4 balls, and Ryan Timms will get on base. So CJ's gonna have to calm down a little bit, figure out what to do with this next batter, number 31, Warren Wedley, a senior at Chichester. High ball from C.J. Douglas there. It's a good thing it wasn't any more higher marker. That would have been Ryan Timms would have gotten on to second.
Yeah, he's got to be careful for situations like that with men on. you can't take too many chances with outside the zone or allow the runner to advance.
Well, I mean, yeah, and definitely with the point of there being a man on base already. If we've had 2 overthrown throws to second already today, so there is that chance that we're gonna have an overthrow, and right there, almost overthrown to just the pitcher. So definitely need to take things a little slower, a little concentrate more, and get those pitches on point, both catcher and pitcher. And it's in there for a strike.
It's good to see him throw that strike there. He needs to get into some kind of a rhythm right now. It seems like he's been unable to do that so far. He's just throwing too many balls right now, but fortunately he's gotten some guys to chase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Number 1, Joe Perry coming up for Chichester. This is his 3rd time up. And, man, he really started it off things good for them last time, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely. And as that one is taken low for a ball. And, yeah, that was earlier in the game, the 6-run first inning for Chichester. And boy,
they just rallied on every hit they had. I mean, they loaded the bases twice and got a home run one of the times, and then hit a 2-run gapper another time. And right there, Luke Stem jumping off of first base in order to get that run, but getting right back in time so that he could get the runner out. So Joe Perry hitting a little dump-off single there is out. So Norristown's up to bat again.
And that's the kind of inning you need after you get those 3 to make it a 3-run game. A nice shutdown inning. It wasn't 1, 2, 3. It wasn't the prettiest, but they didn't score any runs. And now Norristown has a chance to come back up to the plate, retaining that momentum that they built up with that 3-run inning earlier. It's a shame to see a team, you see it so much, they'll go out and they'll score 3 or 4 runs to make it a ball game again, and then they'll come right back out defensively and give up a big number, and they're right back out of it. But the Eagles not doing that here.
So pitcher's still the same for Chichester, Ryan Timms. He's done an overall pretty good job today for Chichester. He's been throwing the heat definitely, and he's hit 1 batter so far. Pitcher C.J. Douglas, and he's let up 3 runs. But early on, they looked unstoppable in those first innings for Norristown. They got 6 runs put against them. And then 3 batters up, 3 batters down. But now, definitely momentum switching. They're getting all the plays they need to. They just needed to calm down a little bit and really get in there and figure everything out. So they seem to be doing that. And now up to bat, we have number 10, Mark Pinchak, our 3rd baseman.
It'll be Pinchak, Parker, and Stem in this inning.
And Pinchak starting things off. See if he can get the single there. And he can. Ball was a little high, but it dropped towards the end there. And number 31, Warren Laley, their first baseman, picked up the out. So Mark Pinchak out, 1 down for Norristown.
Yeah, Chichester, unlike Norristown, has been really crisp and really solid defensively. They haven't really made any mistakes. Norristown, they haven't had any disasters defensively, but as you were mentioning earlier with some of those throws to second, just not crisp.
And they're Stephen Parker, it looks like took a ball took a high ball and he hit it foul. So 1 strike to Stephen Parker. And ball hit far to center field by Stephen Parker, and that ball off the top of the fence.
Oh man, Stephen Parker just missed a home run by about 1 inch.
About an inch, but it was caught off the fence, and it seems like everybody's arguing. I'm pretty sure that's a ground rule double if it hits off the top of the fence. Fans extremely angry that he's not out, but that's a ground rule double in major leagues, and I'm almost positive in high school sports as well.
Yeah, well, it didn't go out, so I mean, there's no way it could be a homer. I don't know if that's – there's no argument there. I don't really know what's complicated about this play.
So a double is called, and Norristown doesn't seem too happy about it, but I believe that's the right call. Hitting off the top of the fence like that, it definitely, if it comes back into play, that ball should be out. I mean, if there were stands back there and it came back in off the stands, then yeah, that would definitely be a home run. But that was hit right off the top of the fence, and it's hard to tell if it hit the back, the back part of the fence, the front part of the fence. The word is it hit the fence. So that seems like the right call to me with the double.
Yeah, the ball didn't leave the yard. I mean, unless they're trying to say it hit something else. I mean, there's some other stuff out there. As that's grounded back to the pitcher, he'll go to third.
Ooh, and he's in there at third. So Luke Stem with the chopper to the pitcher. Instead of going to first base, where the easy out would have been, Timms turns around and tries to pelt out Stephen Parker at third. And Stephen Parker was safe. So bad luck there for Chichester. Good luck for Norristown, however, now with 2 men on at the first and third base positions.
Yeah, that's just not a good decision there. I mean, there's no reason to try to cut. I mean, there's no force there, so they got to make the tag. They've got the 3-run lead, so I mean, you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want a big inning against you. The most important thing is just take the outs when they're given to you, with the lead like this. I mean, boy, and with no force, it's that much harder.
And Lukeson with the face first slide into second he gets there, so he's safe on second. So now we have runners at second and third. C.J. Douglas was gonna lay down the bunt, but he pulled back at the last second.
Yeah, they wanted him to try to execute a sac bunt, but of course now with second and third, that's no longer in effect.
No need for that. C.J. Douglas taking his second strike. C.J. Douglas with a hit. Oh, into the gap. Looks like Luke Stem and Stephen Parker are going to score. Throws home. And coach is not too happy, Luke Stem walking into home. But catcher running right into him at home after he touched the bag. So score now for Norristown with many runs scored this inning. 6-5, so 2 runs scored this inning so far. With that big inning last time, we left bases loaded at the end there with Antonoff striking out at the end there. But now, again, so far we have 2 up, so it should be 5-6 Norristown.
That one called strike, and boy, I'll tell you, that last play was an interesting one. I mean, Stem went in standing up and made it pretty easily, but if that throw is a little bit closer to the plate, I mean, they've got a real good chance at him. And they actually did have a play as the catcher attempted to tag him, but Stem able to be safe, so whatever he did, it worked.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a high anxiety play right there for the coaches and the fans, as well as the team, I would say, because Luke Stem not taking the slide into home, where he would have clearly been safe, leaning back a bit so the catcher couldn't hit him, and stepping on home plate, casually scoring a run. So 1 out here today in this inning.
Yeah, and it's hard to see the plate from this angle. I thought he was gunned, but he was able to get in there standing up. So yeah, an interesting play as Bell fouls that one back.
So 2 strikes there with the foul pitch, for the foul tip there. So he's holding on. Eagles seem to be doing a pretty good job at matching the amount of hits that Chichester's put up today. Chichester's rallied early, but now here's number 11, who is John Kitt. We talked about that speed earlier, and that definitely came in handy there. He would have been out if there was a force. The ball was there, the tag just wasn't there. So now we have a man on third, and Brandon Bell up to base to hit.
Boy, just a huge run out there, sitting out there at third base for them to get in. And Brandon Bell at the plate, and John Kitt with the great speed at third base. And it's the tying run that's out there that they're trying to pick up.
and the ball hit far into center field. 2 men on it, and the ball is caught there. Still 1 out, so John Kitt's going to score with the tag-up run there. Score now is tied at 6-6.
And Brandon Bell gets the job done there. That's all you got to do. Get that run in, get the game tied, and boy,
Tied.
got a tie game now here. I mean, who would have thought about a half an hour ago that we'd be looking at a tie game at this point?
Oh, yeah, definitely not a half hour ago. A half hour ago, we were sitting here wondering why Norristown didn't have any runs. But not now, not anymore, not after this rally. So strike called to number 7, Antonoff. Seemingly no batters, no base runners right now. So unless a home run, no chances to take the lead. A late swing, very late swing by Antonoff, calls for the 2nd strike.
You know, in that first pitch, he was showing bunt, kind of like he wanted to try and bunt for a base hit, and he's got great speed, and that's not a bad idea. I don't mind seeing that.
Yeah, not a lot of coaches will throw up the bunt sign when no people are on. So chopper to the pitcher, over the pitcher's head, and second baseman can't get it. So Antonoff catching a break on that one and able to retain his position at first base. So team's pretty happy about that one.
Speed kills, and a lot of pressure on the second baseman there, Bill Marriott, to try and get that ball there in a hurry, or else he wasn't going to have a chance at D'Onofrio. And in his haste, left the ball on the infield, and D'Onofrio base hit. Looks like a line drive in the box score.
Yeah, Antonoff taking second now. Let's see if he can get there. And he's safe in there, holding his thigh. Looks like he hit the base a little late with that slide, but he's safe. So Norristown's gonna hold on to that one. And right now we're at the top of the order yet again. So could have been a better situation for Norristown. We still have 2 outs on the score. So. But now with Antonoff at second and Ian Hammer up to bat, we have Ian, Martello, and Lavecchio, our next 3 batters. So all with hits this inning. So
yeah, just another huge inning for Norristown. We talked about the momentum they built on that 3-run inning last inning, and then they get the scoreless inning by C.J. Douglas, come back out and just keep the momentum rolling. They get 3 more. It's a tie game now. They got a chance to make it a big inning with Ian Hammer up.
Well, with Ian Hammer up and then Martello, we could definitely see another run score, maybe 2, before this inning's out. Ian Hammer, high ball popped to shallow right field, and it's not going to make it. Ball is foul, though, but no out. So Ian Hammer catching a break there. Antonoff scoring from second on that play, though. This is the speed we were talking about earlier between Kitna and Antonoff and some of the other guys on the team. That ball lingered. That probably had a hang time of about 6 or 7 seconds, and it definitely, if the ball was fair, Antonoff was already home. So.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably the Eagles' fastest 2 players, and they're not a real speed team, but those 2 guys sure make them look like one.
They make up for the rest. If they were lacking speed anywhere else, those 2 definitely make up. So Ian Hammer telling Antonoff to stand up, run, and so now we have a man at third, and Ian Hammer at home. So wild pitch there by Timms. What do you think, Mark? You think he's about done?
I don't know, man. He started off so strong, and now all of a sudden gave up the 3 spot. Now he's giving up another 3 spot here. Now he's throwing balls in the dirt. I don't know. I mean, they got to start thinking about making a change. The Eagles tried a quick hook on Ryan Moore.
And another ball high. So, well, yeah, if you're the coach of Chichester, I mean, you have to be thinking about the win. And we're giving up a 6-run lead this early on, and now you have a man in scoring position to take over the lead for Norristown. That's not what you want. Foul tip Norristown into the glove on that 3rd strike. So that's an out for Norristown. So here we coming in. Chichester walking in to bat, and Norristown. Very good inning for Norristown. There's 2 3-run innings in a row for Norristown, and I'm sure they'll continue it next time up with Matt Martello, Lavecchio, and Mark Pinshock starting out the round of that order. So
now they got to come out and pitch and play defense and retain that momentum like they did earlier. I mean, you fought all the way back, and it takes so much out of you physically and mentally to make such a comeback like that. And now let's see if they have something left to hold on to their momentum. Well,
with this group of guys for Norristown, I'm sure they'll have no problem holding on to the momentum. C.J. Douglas still on the mound. Not throwing as fast as Chichester's Tim's, but definitely with the skill and the precision of most of his pitches, he'll be able to hold on to it. At least he has so far. So hopefully it's going to be another good inning, a 3-up, 3-down inning for Norristown, and then they can go back up and score some more runs.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And C.J. Douglas yet to give up a run in this game, and it hasn't been pretty. He's allowed a couple base runners, but you can't argue with the results.
So the beautiful day we had is now turning into quite the chilly afternoon.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it doesn't feel like May right now.
Does not feel like May. Feels like early April. Still baseball season, but certainly not the baseball weather they'd be expecting to play in today.
Not at all.
And a hit batter right there, hit in the wrist, is number 11 of Paul Smith, a senior at Chichester. So first batter for Chichester hit on the first pitch. So they're gonna slow things up. CJ's probably gonna have to think about what to do next time, so that doesn't happen again. Obviously, he doesn't want to keep hitting batters, or the ump will say something, and the coach first will say something.
Yeah, that just grazed him. I mean, you don't like to see the leadoff man getting on like that now.
Now, hard hit ball to right field. Matt Martello is going to throw it in and hold him at second, but hard hit ball. Luke Stem trying to get in front of it, but couldn't. So, 2 men on now for Chichester. That was number 7, Bill Marriott, the second baseman for Chichester, hitting that ball, and that was well hit. That was right between first and second. So,
yeah, not a good start to the inning. You allow the hit by pitch, and now the base hit. And 2 pitches, 2 men on, just like that.
Yeah, and now you have Brandon Zebley, the 10th grader, up for Chichester, the one who hit the 6-run. He was part of that 6-run rally in the first inning with a 3-run home run, I believe it was. So, and that's just, you don't want to have 2 men on for him to get another opportunity to get a 3-run home run.
So we're in the top of the 4th. It is 6-6 as the Eagles have erased a 6-0 deficit.
Luke Stem stretching for the double play, but they got it. So that was Brandon Zebley, the hero of the first inning, now grounding out into a double play.
Well, he certainly killed anything they had brewing in that inning. I mean, that's just 2 outs, but boy, you go from a very promising inning to a potentially harmless one.
Yeah, we now have a man on third base, but in scoring position to take the lead. But I don't think Norristown really minds 1 run since they've just come back from a deficit of 6. So a high anxiety game here with the score tied at 6-6, like you said. And now we have number 2 up, Zach Zagwitsky for Chichester, swinging at a pitch. See, that's what we're talking about. That pitch not thrown hard. Certainly not the heat that Tim's throws, but definitely a good enough hit. The ball sunk very, very close to the bag, and Zawitsky just couldn't keep up with it. There's a ball for C.J. Douglas.
So again, I mean, C.J. Douglas allowing some base runners, but getting the double play ball, and he's just been doing a great job of getting out of jams so far in his day today.
Yeah, certainly not a debut, but this is probably one of the best pitched games he has so far. So he's holding on for Norristown. He's allowing them to come back when they're up on offense and really getting their runs down. So hopefully he can continue to do that. And there's 2.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, the Eagles weren't expecting Ryan Moore to go. What was it? 0.1 innings. I mean, they weren't expecting that.
I don't even think he showed an out. So.
Right. Yeah, they weren't expecting him to last that short. So I mean, they is kind of piecing it together now. C.J. Douglas, making him a long man out of the bullpen, just trying to stick around. I mean, this is not how you draw it up at all. But you got a tie game in the 4th inning.
So now we have 2 runners on at first and third for Chichester, and number 23 Eddie Speakman will come up, a 10th grader at Chichester. So Speakman trying to take the first pitch there, hitting it foul back into the backstop. So.
Runners on the corners and 2 outs in this tie ball game.
Getting him out at home plate. So Dave LaVecchio pelting the ball to second base to try to get number 2, Zach Zawiski. Ian Hammer reading the play and throwing it directly back home to get the runner out at home. So just like that, even though the player was still at the plate, he got him out. Dave LaVecchio just squatting down and just blocking the base completely. So Norristown coming back up, not allowing any runs that time. So Dave LaVecchio bailing out C.J. Douglas with the help of Ian Hammer.
Yeah, definitely. Again, another break with an out on the base paths. They got one in the first inning, too. I mean, they just couldn't buy an out. And then they finally got one, and then the second one was an out on the base paths, and now they get another friendly one here. And, I mean, that's that play you see in Little League. You try to steal second, and then on the throw, the runner from third tries to come home. You know, that double steal, and the Eagles able to snuff it out that time.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not a textbook play, but certainly not for Chichester. But for Norristown, it turned out pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, you see teams you'll even see teams in the big leagues execute that exact play.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, a lot of things you have to have a lot of speed on both ends of it for it to work. You need to time your jumps perfectly, and Chichester did not do that there.
Your catcher needs to be aware that the ball may come home. It just happened recently, well, not recently, but in the past World Series we had. The ground ball was hit to Chase Utley, and instead of throwing to first base, he faked it home, and the runner didn't even know the ball was coming home, and he was out at home. So, not the same situation, but definitely a situation where we thought the out was going to be at second. The late throw was late, and so the runner at third ran home. That's the third base coach's fault there. I mean, that he needs to be held up there. You did have 2 outs, but it was certainly not the time that you needed to send the runner home, not when you have a batter up to base and there's 2 balls in the play. So Chichester going to have to talk that one out as Matt Martello comes up for Norristown.
It's interesting, though. I feel like with the way their offense has been performing, they've already put up 6 runs. They had a very promising inning developing there. Of course, they got the double play ball, but then they got another guy on. I mean, I don't feel that they need to use base running gimmicks to score runs. They're hitting well right now. I don't see a reason for it.
They didn't need to try to catch anybody off guard, which they clearly didn't. They needed to just stay on base, like you said, and score the runs. As they've been making contact the whole game. They've been unbelievably good at hitting the first inning, and as of late they've slowed, but still, I mean, not completely. And there's Matt Martello nailing a ball almost fair, right off of the foul side of the bag. So. But hard hit ball by Matt Martello. And just again, Matt Martello hitting a ball very far, and that ball's over the fence. So Matt Martello with a 1-run home run, enthusiastically running around the base path. So just like that, Norristown takes the lead from Chichester with the play by Matt Martello. So that's just what we were talking about. If that had happened last inning, Norristown would have been up 3 runs, but unfortunately we couldn't put it together last one, but still we got it this round. So Matt Martello being greeted gleefully by the team at home plate.
Yeah, that's the 3rd straight inning now that the Eagles are able to score a run, at least one. Of course, this one still got 0 outs, so a chance to make it more. But boy, their offense is just getting it done right now, and boy, they're leaving Ryan Timms out there for now.
And there's David LaVecchio off the end of the bat, fair ball. That'll be a double. The slide at second. Oh, no slide, stand up. So stand up double for David LaVecchio right after the solo home run by Matt Martello. So Norristown coming full force again, and we're gonna have Coach come out and talk to Timms about this one.
Now this might finally be it for him. I mean, boy, these last 3 innings have just been brutal for him, but I don't know. For whatever reason, they've left him out there. I mean, with as good as he was in the first couple innings, I mean, I guess you give him some leeway. He's a very talented pitcher for him.
Very, very talented. Throwing extremely hard today, much harder than C.J. Douglas has. But Norristown just hasn't been letting up. They've been making contact with pretty much every one of his pitches. And even in the beginning of the game, when we had 3 batters up, we had the first 3 batters up. Hammer made contact and got on base. Matt Martello grounded into a double play, and David LaVecchio struck out. So David LaVecchio got a hit and then was thrown out at first. You had 3 people there that made contact with the ball. So he's been throwing hard, but even since the beginning, when Norristown wasn't even doing that well, they still did. They've done extremely well since then, and actually getting it past the defense here for Chichester.
Well, the Eagles will have Pinchak, Parker, and Stem this inning, and Pinchak starts it off with a grounder to short.
So first baseman 31, Warren Wadley, stretching for that one, and stretching almost into the base path. It didn't look like Mark Pinchak was too happy with the way that played out, but jumping over him and getting out, advanced the runner to third there.
Yeah, now with 1 out and a runner on third, I mean that's a productive at bat for Mark Pinchak, but out of your cleanup hitter, I mean you want a little more than that, but they'll take it.
So runner holding at third, and Stephen Parker getting out at first base. And so David LaVecchio will not advance after that stand-up double from third. So now we have Luke Stem up for Norristown. 2 for 2 today. Definitely a successful day for him so far. And he'll come up to bat.
Yeah, unlike Brandon Bell before him, Parker not able to get the run in from third with less than 2 outs. And now with 2 outs, it's going to take a hit to bring LaVecchio across, who batted second in this inning and got a base knock. Of course,
they try to catch David LaVecchio there at third, and they can't. The runner wasn't that close to the bag, so that's why they threw it. And a ball's called.
And of course, Tim's still out there, so they went to the mound, had a talk with him. I mean, I guess it's worked, as he's recorded 2 outs after that, but I thought a change might be coming, but they leave him out there yet again.
So Luke Stem with the grounder to second is out at first. So the inning will be over for Norristown, but we definitely wouldn't call it an unsuccessful inning with Matt Martello with that solo home run first up to bat there. So Eagles coming back and gaining the lead after a 6-run deficit. So putting up 7 runs in just over 3 innings. So they'll definitely be proud of that, whether the win is a win or loss today. Right now looking like a win, but anything could happen.
Yeah, and
1 run ahead.
Yeah, and how about that mound visit? They go out and talk to Tim's a little bit, and then next thing you know, 3 straight outs.
So maybe they jocked him into taking over there for a little bit, but there's never. I don't think they ever thought it was out of the realm of possibility that he could come back. I mean, he's been throwing heat all day, and he came right back and started throwing heat again. So C.J. Douglas is still on the mound. How do you think he feels about that? That he's replaced in the first inning with no outs, and now he's still in pitching.
Well, I mean, like I said earlier about the team, C.J. feels the same way. I'm sure he didn't expect to throw this many innings today. I mean, they expected Ryan Moore to eat up most of the game, and I don't even know if he was expecting to get in the game at all tonight. I don't know what their what the status of their bullpen and their rotation is, but here he is, and he's in line right now to get a W, as the Eagles now have a 1-run lead that they can now play more conservatively and try to protect that 1-run lead.
So about ready to get started here. Number 23 will lead off for Chichester, Eddie Speakman. Eddie Speakman with a long ball to center field. Very high, and Antonovi's going to grab that one. Eddie Speakman not looking too happy about that. But balls balls off the bat, you can't really tell if they're out or not. Matt Martello's home run, which cleared the fence by I don't know how many yards, didn't really look like it was. It looked like it was going to sink and then just kept floating. And then of course, the Brandon Zebley's hit in the first inning, that was the 3-run home run. That didn't look like it was going to go out either, and surely it made it out.
And of course, you have Parker hitting one off the top of the fence, and then bouncing back into play.
I mean, there was an argument about whether that was a home run or not, but again, we agreed with the umpires in saying that it was a double. It never left the stadium, so. 1 run down here for Norristown, and that looks like a foul tip, I believe. Ball low there for C.J. Douglas.
Yeah, let's see if C.J. Douglas can get a clean 1-2-3 inning here. I mean, he's done a heck of a job. He's not allowed a run. He's probably the Eagles' most valuable player in this game thus far. But I'll tell you, he's been skating on thin ice at some points in this game, and he's gotten some breaks that have gotten him out of trouble. You had the out on the base pass, you get the double play ball. Of course, that's not necessarily lucky, but it was fortunate at the time.
Yeah, I would say fortunate. I mean, he got dug out of a hole a few times. That he got bailed out of a hole. He dug himself into a few times. So Norristown teamwork really evident today, and it shows. I wouldn't say that anybody's the most valuable player today. Obviously, the pitcher gets a lot of heat because he's the one doing everything, and C.J. Douglas just walking, player from Chichester. But the team here today has really done wonders for each other. Obviously, hitting singles like just how we said we should have done. Hitting singles and then getting men on with multiple base hits, stuff like that, and able to boost themselves back into the lead at 7-6. So. Norristown not doing bad by any standards. The first inning was dismal, but definitely come back since then. C.J. Douglas getting very close to the shins there of Tim's.
Yeah, he hasn't been afraid to come inside all day, and that's definitely a good thing in my opinion. Move the hitter's feet a little bit. Use that inside part of the plate.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily. You don't the ball doesn't have to hit him,
Right.
If the ball hits him, then that's unfortunate. Maybe lay off the inside for a little bit, but.
Yeah, but he's not eliminating the inside part of the plate in fear of hitting someone.
Absolutely, yeah. And he's already hit one person today, so.
But he's still going to it, which is great to see.
Yeah, he's not afraid. He's still work that inside of the plate, which I mean, as a pitcher, you have every right to throw anything that can get him out. So. There's a low ball for C.J. Douglas.
Yeah, I feel like he's throwing well enough to have that 1-2-3 shutdown inning, but I mean, just walking too many guys or allowing base hits. But like we said, he's gotten out of it every time, so you can't argue with it.
Yeah. So it's looked at. Was that? I don't know if that was a hit. Was that a hit ball or is that did it skim his back? He arched his back a little bit, and he doesn't seem too happy. So I don't know if it was a hit or not, but so the number 15 for Chichester, Chris Gaspari, looks to be their designated runner, will come in and run for Tim's.
Yeah, in the 4 innings Douglas has started, I don't think he's retired the leadoff man once, or he may have done it once, but it's so important to get that leadoff guy out if you want to
set some momentum for the inning.
If you want to have a scoreless inning, and he's been able to do it, been able to get scoreless innings without retiring the leadoff man. But boy, I mean, now he got first and second with 0 out. I mean, we'll see if he can get out of this one as well.
Yeah, so he's got 2 men on, but again, it's not out of the realm of possibility what Norristown's already done today that he could get out of this, because he's already done it 3 times. So. Just like that, C.J. Douglas with a strike for the first pitch to the batter.
It's a little scary, though, when he gets into trouble every inning, and it seems like every inning we got 2 guys on with no outs, 1 out. I mean, boy. That one's low for a ball, and it gets away, and both runners will advance. That also takes the double play ball out, and that's not going to help either. Of course, having 2 runners in scoring position also hurts.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not going to take the double play ball out if anybody the defense doesn't think they can make it home. Certainly, if you go for the double play, you're going to miss the. Oh well, no, there's 1 out today. There's 1 out on already. So if the double play is still in the realm of possibility with a runner at second, if the runner grounds out to first, you can get a double play that way. But there's a runner at third, so if you miss the double play and you don't get it, run scores. So they'd probably go with the safe bet and just throw home. Even though there's not a force out, if the runner's making it home, and I would throw home if the runner's running home. Not tie the game up,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they play that, if they are going to bring the infield in or not. It doesn't look like they're going to. Middle infield playing in their usual spots. So by the looks of it, looks like they're going to concede the tying run to get an out.
So number 31, Warren Wadley of Chichester, takes a chop and foul over the backstop.
Now, of course, if somebody hits a screamer to one of the corner infield spots, I mean, they may try to cut him down.
And there's Warren Wadley taking it right down. So just like that, C.J. Douglas has now have 2 outs. And number 1, Joe Perry, comes up, a senior at Chichester.
And just got done that conference on the mound with his catcher, Lavecchio, his manager, Stocker. And let's see if the mound visit could do for C.J. Douglas what Chichester's mound visit did for them an inning ago.
Definitely. It's happened both times today with Tim's. Tim's turned the inning completely around. And I wouldn't say that C.J. was as far as Tim's was, but he still seems to be turning the inning around. Runners at second and third.
Boy, another inside pitch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, geez. At some point, he's got to start controlling his pitches a little bit better. I mean, yeah, he's using it effectively, but, I mean, he's already hit, what, 2, 3 guys?
2 batters.
Yeah, and that's a number that's got to come down. You can't give away bases like that. He's walked a couple of guys.
So that pitch right there, Chichester thought was not even a strike. He wasn't even holding the bat in an offensive point of view. So, I mean, that ball kind of taking him by surprise. And then swinging now. So, just like that, 2 strikes to number 1, Joe Perry.
Well, I'll tell you, that one number that matters the most, the earned runs given up by C.J. Douglas, is still at 0.
Still 0.
It's just amazing.
And he's had runners in scoring position, I think, every inning.
Yeah, and he's had the leadoff guy on.
Just like that, he walks the Joe Perry. So base is now loaded. Let's see if C.J. can dig himself out of this one. As number 11, Paul Smith comes up for Chichester. Haven't seen him up earlier. I think he's a pinch hit for Tim's, which I think they're pulling out. So Tim's might not be starting next inning. High ball.
Yeah, I don't know if that the Eagles, I mean, you want to knock the starting pitcher out, but boy, the way they've been hitting them, I think they're going to be sad to see him go.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they left him in that long.
Ball chopped back foul over the backstop, causing a little commotion. Two strikes to C.J. Douglas with bases loaded.
Yeah, that was a heck of a pitch right there. Off speed, and boy, he froze the hitter, and it was over for a strike.
And it looks like it's going to be a... so the ball overthrown at first base. So 2 runs may score. 1 run's already scored for Norristown. So 2 runs for Chichester. So 2 runs scored. Chichester retakes the lead. C.J. Douglas trying to perform almost a Golden Glove-like play at the mound there, but throwing a little bit off the bag. Luke Stem couldn't go and get that one.
Yeah.
Had to pull off the bag and the ball by the result of that going past. So now runners at the corner, new batter up. Number 7, Bill Marriott.
Yeah,
How about that play?
Yeah, that was a pretty wild defensive play. I mean, if he lets it get to Pinchak and he has to try to make the play, I doubt he makes it. So a good decision to pick it up. Maybe he could shove it to third, but probably didn't have a chance there. Didn't have a chance at the plate. So I mean,
That's an error to him then.
Oh, it's definitely an error. But I mean, that desperation fling over to first base. I mean, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. Maybe at that point you just hold on to the ball because I mean, it's only deplorable base running that prevented Chichester from scoring more runs. I mean, if there's 2 outs, I don't know why anybody's stopping on the base paths at that point. And it seemed like it took them a couple seconds to realize the ball got away. They should just be running the entire time if there's 2 outs. I don't know what would stop them.
Yeah, and as a result of the overthrown at first, 2 runs were scored. If he would have held on to it, tried maybe for home, maybe one would have scored. Obviously at home, 2 runs wouldn't have scored if he threw home. So, they pulled him out after that. But I mean, not a horrible day, for C.J. Douglas. I mean, he set the momentum. He got the outs for Norristown, and they were able to hold on to it. So now they have another pitcher come in, number 23, Pat Champion for Norristown.
Yeah, and C.J. Douglas, his bend but don't break pitching day. Finally, he broke and gave up the run there. And it would have been 1 more run if the Chichester ran the bases properly. But now Pat Campion in the game. He'll try to settle this game down. I mean, it's been a wild offensive game filled with excitement.
Pat, you know what inning it is? Bottom of the 5th? All right, so we have number 7, Bill Marriott, second baseman for Chichester, with a ball at his face, ducking away from that one. Couldn't really tell from over here how close it was to him, but he ducked out of the way. But batters usually have a way of emphasizing how close the ball actually is to them. Ball very, very high. So 2 balls so far. Not starting off good for Norristown's Pat Champion. So 3 balls to Pat Champion.
He's got to settle down and start throwing some strikes. I mean, with guys already on in this inning, as Campion's relieving Douglas, he cannot afford to put any more on.
Yeah, runners at the corners, and now he walks number 7, Bill Marriott, second baseman. So, I mean, now you have probably the worst case scenario so far. We have a man who's coming up with a 3-run home run already today, and Brandon Zebley's going to come back up with bases loaded, and Chichester already up 1 run to Norristown. So with those 2 runs earlier in this inning, they tied up the game, and then came ahead a run. So now they're ahead a run, and they have bases loaded with probably their most valuable player up. So the first strike thrown today for Champion.
Yeah, and it's tough to come into a game like this with guys on and just throw some strikes. I mean, these guys in the bullpen, they don't have a chance to warm up like the starters do.
So wild throw home. Pat Champion doing exactly what he's supposed to do, coming in. Ball bouncing off the backstop right to the Vecchio. So he didn't have to go back and get the ball, freezing the runners all over the place, and it was looking like it was going to have to be an out somewhere. But the runners from Chichester did a pretty good job of reading that and came back to their bases. 2 strikes for Brandon Zebley.
Yeah, much better at bat for Pat Campion. And I mean, when you come in, you have to be the fireman. You have to put out the fire, and there's guys on. You're expected to just, get the out. You don't have any room for error when you're coming in with men on like this. And he really showed in his first pitched at bat, and now this one he's settled down.
So this one, another overthrown pitch. So Campion can't get it, and the wild pitch as a result scored a run. So now Chichester's up 9-7. Campion's gonna have to he's gonna have to they're gonna have to go out to him and talk to him if this gets any worse for him this inning. All runners advancing at that point, so now we have a runner run home and no one else on. And another high ball. They're definitely gonna have to go out and talk to him. He just needs to calm down, slow things up.
Yeah, this inning's far from over too. The scary part, they've already reclaimed the lead.
Another high ball. So we have walked Brendan Zebley. He's got 2 strikes on him. So bases are reloaded, and Stocker's going to come out and talk to him, which is the right move.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll see if they're going to get any action, if they're going to make a move, and they will.
Yeah, they're going to make a pitching change. So Campion, just like that, didn't even pitch a whole inning, is out. But I would say that's the right move. It's a bad day for Campion, but pulling him out, it makes sense. He gave up 2 runs, 2 runs just like that. I'm sorry, even 1 run. CJ gave up the 2 runs, so now they're 2 ahead now. But when you need you change pitchers so that you can get the outs and so that somebody comes in fresh, and it didn't seem like he came in fresh. Now we have Cegulski coming in, so hopefully he can fix things up. Which, I mean, he looks like he's throwing some heat. So
yeah, both those runs we charged to CJ Douglas, so his day started off quite nicely, but ends up giving up 3 earned runs on a couple of innings, and now Campion comes in, can't really get the job done. Had that one good at bat, but it just looked like he was, I don't know, maybe he was overthrown a little bit. He was kind of wild, throwing well above the strike zone. And now let's try out the junior, Tim Cegulski. Or the sophomore, excuse me.
yeah, so still 2 outs though. I mean, that's still what we have here. So I mean, all he really needs to do is just get this next batter out, which is number 2, Zach Sawitsky.
But now you're seeing some more effects of Ryan Moore being taken out so early. I mean, you have to go to C.J. Douglas, and you have to go to Campion, and you have to go to Cegulski. I mean, if
Moore and Campion were both taken out early, so now we have to look to the rest of the bullpen to see who else can throw.
Right. I mean, if Ryan's able to go at least 3 or 4, now you can use Douglas for 2. You can use, you still have Campion or whatever the situation may be. You have more different guys to go to. You're not so short-handed. You don't.
So Cegulski throwing some good pitches in his warm-up, but now with 2 balls. 3, so no strikes. So he's gonna have to slow down and throw something. Whether he's gonna make contact or swing at it, he has to. We can't get another ball here. Strikes. So there you go, salvaging what little left of that play with bases loaded. That would have been quite catastrophic for Norristown.
Yeah, this is a really big at bat in this game.
Ooh, 2 strikes. So full count with Cegulski on the mound now. It's good. This is a great at bat.
Yeah, and this is a huge pitch in the at bat because if they're able to bring some runs home in this inning, I mean, it's just a big lead. The Reynolds will get a head start, and he struck him out.
All right, Cegulski. So bases loaded. Cegulski being added in, stacking up the balls right when it got on, and now striking him out. So Norristown extremely happy with that. In a very long inning, so bailed out of that inning. Finally.
Yeah, what a huge at bat, as we said. I mean, if it ends well for Chichester, they've got a lead of 4 or 5, and I mean, with just an inning or two left to play here, it's a pretty steep mountain to climb. Now they leave it at 2, and with the way Norristown's been hitting tonight, I think they got a chance.
So lots of fans here in Norristown today, as you can see. Both benches there stacked with fans from either team, and right behind the bench there. So right behind the dugout, in between each dugout, right behind the backstop. So there is that. There is the fact that they are right behind the pitching, right there. As you can see, they're right behind. They're about 20 feet off the home plate. So I wouldn't say that fans make a big difference for the pitcher, but when you're in high school, you're a little more unexperienced. So maybe the backstop right there has something to do with the pitching today for Ryan Moore and for Campion, and then for the downfall of Timms. Although Timms still in the game, they hit for him last time, but that might have just been to save his strength. He was close up in the order to being out, stuff like that. So
Right, they have some rules in place in high school to move the game along and to like you saw John Kett earlier. You saw John Kett earlier pinch run for David Lavecchio, so he could go back, get his gear on, and move the game along.
Yeah. I mean, you don't see that in the major league.
Right.
Definitely in a league like this, and for Norristown and high school ball, you have a lot of people coming in. Like as right now, you have number 25 Ortiz coming in for Norristown. It's probably the pitcher. So. And a strike to Ortiz right off the bat.
Well, let's see what Ryan Timms could do here. Like we said, he's given up runs in his last 3 innings out there.
Timms with the ball.
Gets another one over, so a pretty strong start for Timms.
And a hit right to the pitcher on that one.
And some bullpen activity for the Eagles. They have Stephen Parker tossing over there in the pen.
Yeah, Stephen Parker throws heat. I think they actually wanted to save him for games later on, but they're going to have to use him today. So.
And with the lead, they're going to be turning to him to shut things down, perhaps. And that one's high to the 8-hitter in the lineup, Brandon Bell. Bell takes another one high. We mentioned earlier how adept Bell is at drawing walks and showing a good eye thus far in this at-bat. That one's over for a strike.
So, Brandon Bell is an extraordinary batter at judging those balls. Certainly hasn't made a big impact today, but it made an impact a few days ago when putting the Eagles into first place, the second game towards the end of the season. And right there, a ball hit into the gap right off the mound for Brandon Bell.
Yeah, that was just probably the biggest hit of his young high school career when he's able to win that game against Plymouth Whitemarsh. And here gets on, and he's got some speed. Let's see if they don't try and run him. So now the center fielder, Anthony Dinolfi, will come to bat. Tries to bunt for a base hit and bunts through it. It's 0-1.
Antonovi not looking too happy about that. And Tim's taking a timeout to tie his shoe.
Let's see if Denolfi attempts to try to bunt for a base hit again. And earlier in the game when he showed it, he did not. He abandoned it after.
Yeah, he did. But as we said earlier, he's a fast guy, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that he couldn't get that. So.
Of course, once you show it, you may take the element of surprise out of it. So let's see what he does.
So Brandon Bell going back to first after he was thrown. He wasn't too far off the bag either. I don't know if I agree with that decision to throw to first.
I think what was going on there is they're throwing over to see if Denolfi would tip his hand to show bunt or not, and he did not. So looks like the bunt's off.
And Antonoffy getting a ball shallow
That's trouble.
center field. Oh, and it's dropped. It's dropped. So ball is dropped. Player looks hurt too. And so we have 2 men on now. Great break for Norristown there. And they may call a timeout to see how number 12, Vince Chevalier, is doing in the outfield.
Yeah, man, you would have thought that as long as that one hung up, someone would have been able to get under it. But it found a perfect spot out there in shallow
really
right
did.
and dropped for a base knock.
So now we have Ian Hammer coming up for the beginning of the bat, and I mean that's great. You get your 2 back end of the order to hit to get on base, and now we have our head of our order up, who's again very good at hitting. Now we have Hammer, Martello, and Lavecchio. Now Hammer with that on base, he got out, and then Matt Martello coming up and hitting that home run, that solo home run. So Ian Hammer with a gap hit into the outfield, and it looks like Brandon Bell's going to score. Ian Hammer's held up at first base, but Brandon Bell scores. So Chichester's only up by 1 run now. And still 2 men on with Matt Martello up. Hopefully he can get another home run for the Eagles to get put ahead by 2.
Yeah, why not? And boy, I'll tell you, that's a huge at bat for Ian Hammer. And I mean, these seniors, this could be their last game.
Yeah, so they're playing all or nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it just got to feel really good for Ian Hammer to get that big hit. And you're talking about the bottom of the order making this happen as they attempt a double steal. And that bottom of the order with Bell and Denolfi has been pretty successful so far this season. And, of course, the catalyst for this inning so far.
So that double steal abandoned because of Matt Martello's foul tip.
I mean, Bell's getting on base this year at an over 500 clip. Barry Bonds-esque.
And that ball foul tipped back. So 2 strikes to Matt Martello with this no-out situation. Hopefully he can get something, put it together.
So Martello waits for the Tim's pitch. And they've got them picked off. The throw over to third, and Denolfi beats the throw. So they had him picked off. They had Denolfi and Bell, of course, on trail end taking second, but they had Denolfi running. Timms turns around, did not make the throw quick enough. I mean, that's what they teach you to do. They teach you to run at him, but, boy, you got to let go of the ball at some point. And the Eagles catch a break there on a pretty poor defensive play. Tim's pacing around out there in the mound. They're going to argue the call. I mean, it's got to be frustrating to see something like that. I mean, you got him picked off, and you just give it away. But, I mean, it's not the ump's fault. I mean, difficult angle from over here, but it sure looked safe to me. So the argument, fruitless, and Martello will try to bring in those 2 runs. So it's Hammer on second. I said Bell earlier. So with a 1-run deficit, the Eagles with second and third. 1 away.
seems like number 7, Bill Marriott, and the referee had a bit of a comment to each other. So
That's really the first defensive mistake I could think of by Chichester is that gaff right there by Timms. That's been a huge reason why they have this lead. Of course, the way Norristown's been hitting, there's no defense for it. But
when Matt Martello drills one into the outfield, looks like it's going to shallowly drop. So Teeter holds runners at third, but now tied up the game again. So Matt Martello with a single, runners at the corners, and a new batter up, David Lavecchio. So that was just an awesome at bat from Matt Martello.
Yeah, I guess
Got
Ian
2 strikes right off the bat and then held on.
Ian Hammer and or Jim Teeter didn't get a good read on that ball, and Hammer's unable to score. It's unfortunate, but inning's still alive.
With it looks like there's only 1 out. So with 1 out, I mean, with Ian Hammer on the ball, I don't know if you're right. I don't know if it was one of the decision or both of the decision, but it was good that they held him up. So I mean, now they still have the possibility of putting something together. I mean, if he went home and he scored, then that's great. But if he didn't, that's 2 outs and you're 1 down, 1 man on. Yeah, so it's definitely not ideal situation.
Right. If they get a good read on that ball and he's running hard all the way, I'll make it. But I mean, there's some question as to whether that was going to drop in or not. And but with 1 out and the runner on third, I mean, now you got a chance where if Dave Lavecchio, the 3-hitter, can put the ball in play, chances are you're going to get a run.
So Tim's coming out of the game, being replaced by number 39, Nick Kruwinski, a 9th grader. So the only freshman on the Chichester team placed in to be a pitcher. So not throwing as quite a heat as Tim's was showing, but he still looks like he's a pretty good pitcher. That was a good pitch that he just threw. So hopefully it can help out Chichester. If not, Norristown's up 1 run.
Yeah, and
actually, what I'm seeing so far from his warm-up here is that he's pretty wild. I mean, he had 1 pitch that was unbelievably good-looking, but then the other 3 so far have been all over the place. So
yeah, it's such a close game here late in this district playoff first-round game, and I mean, for a freshman, there's got to be a lot of nerves. So that's definitely going to have something to do with it. We'll see how he performs under the pressure.
So David Lavecchio coming back up to bat now. Again, as we said, men at the corners. Looks like Ian Hammer and Matt Martello on each side. Matt Martello at first, Ian at third. And David Lavecchio up to bat. Let's see how this new pitcher, Nick Kruzenski, can do.
They got pretty good speed on third base with Ian Hammer, too, so got to get that run in. That's the tying run and sitting out there. Krasinski checking on both the runners there, but nothing doing.
Lavecchio pops it up foul. Looks like it's going to land on top of the dugout, which it does. And dogs everywhere chase it.
Some off-speed stuff from Krasinski, but unable to get it over.
So a strike there for Dave Lavecchio. Oh, I'm sorry, foul tip. So it wasn't a strike. He made contact with it, but still adds another strike to him.
Yeah, because Matt Martello took second on that pitch, but since it was foul, he sent him back.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like they're really worried about Martello over there. I mean, yeah, he was running on that one pitch, but Martello not known as a speedster.
Pitch in the dirt. Martello's going to go. Oh, and Ian's going to come home. Another run scores for Norristown.
And that's one way to get the runner home from third. I mean, there's so many ways you can do it with less than 2 outs.
I believe that puts them up by 1 run.
It does.
So up by 1 run now. Norristown succeeding the lead of Chichester's. So Matt Martello is now still on base, so he's at second, taking a girthy lead there. Oh, and the pitch hit, and Lavecchio does not look happy.
Yeah, there's no way that's intentional though in this kind of a game.
No, I don't believe it was intentional either. Just a wild pitch. Again, we said in his warm up he looked wild, but I mean nobody wants to get hit, and not the catcher either. I mean he's usually used to wearing all those pads, so I mean you think with the ball coming up at all times he would be okay with it. But I mean again nobody wants to get hit, especially not with this weather the way it just turned. It's pretty cold out here.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of hit batters, but boy, that one with a resounding thump.
Yeah, that was right to the ribs. So I mean that may have been what the glare was for, but
Boy, what an exciting back and forth game that we've had.
Absolutely.
I mean, comebacks, lead changes, hit batters, flaring tempers. We've had it all in this District 1 playoff opener.
And the double steal here with the ball past the catcher.
Boy, he's got to start throwing under some kind of control. I mean, he drilled Levesque. He throwing 2 balls into the dirt past his catcher.
Absolutely.
He's killing him. He's killing himself right now.
If he doesn't, I think if he walks this batter or the batter isn't taken down, they're gonna have to either go out and talk to him or go out and switch because at this point there's a man at third and just like that, March Pinchot hits a ball far to the outfield. That's gonna score 2 runs, maybe 3. Let's see if he can. Oh no, I'm not saying any inside the park home run. So double for him right there. 2 runs up though. Norristown now up by 3. So just like that, 2-run score off of Mark Pinchot. They're definitely going to have to go out and talk about him. With the wildness and the fact that he put Lavecchio on base with the hit and then put him out there, they're going to have to either talk to him or pull him soon because he's not even pitched a full inning and he's got 3 runs down. So
yeah, wow, what a heck of an at bat by junior third baseman Mark Pinchot there. As that one's fouled back. And that's what happens sometimes when a pitcher is wild. They try too hard just to get it over the plate. And, they end up just getting it over, and they end up throwing a meatball, and it's drilled 300 feet to the outfield.
Yeah, that ball was, again by March Pinchot, very, very close to going out. Didn't hit the fence that time, but dropped right at the bottom of the fence. So missed a 3-run home run by a 1.5 feet maybe. But earlier than that, he missed a home run by a foot. So, and there's another ball drilled to the outfield, and that's going to be another double. So Mark Pinchot's going to come in and get another run. So that's 4 now. So 13-9 Norristown. Norristown just having a rally on this one. And looks like there was a misconception between Parker and Teeter, Coach Teeter. Apparently he was supposed to go to third on that one, but I don't know how Mr. Teeter can be angry right now when they're up 4. So certainly he would have liked to see Parker at third, but I think with no outs and Luke Stem up, who's been 2 for 3 today, I don't see the problem with that.
Yeah, I think Teeter's upset. I think he wanted Parker to be running harder, but I don't know that that's necessarily a triple. I mean, I don't know that you want to take that risk. You need to add some insurance funds, and with the way you're hitting this guy, is it really worth that kind of a risk? But I mean, I don't think it's anything to get upset about.
Yeah, definitely not. This so far has been a great day for Norristown. They were down by runs. They came back up for runs. They've been showing that they can definitely play. They were a little rusty in the beginning, but they've come back since then. So now we have a runner at third, and they're making a pitching change. So number 16. So Brandon Zebley's gonna come in, and he's going to take over. So just like that, Korinsky comes in, and Korinsky's out. So, but when we saw that coming. He was wild. He hit a batter. He scored 2 runs, and now they just get that huge hit to the outfield like that, and scores another run. So, not much to say, you know.
Yeah, I mean he was wild, and then just trying to do anything he could to get it over the plate, and just left him out over the middle of the plate, and that's never formula success. Now they'll bring in the sophomore Brandon Zebley, who's already homered in this game from the offensive side.
We're about ready to get back underway here.
Boy, what a huge inning, though, for the Eagles. I mean, this game back and forth.
Absolutely.
I mean, just tit for tat, and now the Eagles.
Well, now they're adding some distance to their lead.
Yeah,
so
finally starting to open up their biggest lead of the game.
With only 1 out, I mean, the game can only go up from here. You've got Stephen Parker on second base and Luke Stem up now. So hopefully Luke can get on first, get runners on the corner, and then Bell and Donofsky can come back in at the end of the lineup as they did in the beginning of the game. So. And Luke Stem back fouls it off over the backstop.
Luke Stem, as you said, having himself a very solid game with 2 hits.
He's been solid all season. He hit a little shaky run in the beginning, but hitting that one very, very high, and it looks like nobody's going to get to it. Oh, and it drops in. It's a foul ball, but still a lucky break for Luke Stem with that high ball. That should have been caught. So
it's just a tough spot and probably a slight lack of communication.
I think that might have been. I think it might have been more lack of communication. So, Luke, one of the only left-handed batters on the team. Antonoffy, another. Luke getting another foul tip.
Yeah, and Luke Stem, another one of those seniors who could be playing their last game in the Eagles blue and white. So definitely a lot of pressure on them.
And Luke's older brother Mike is one of the coaches on the team, so he's definitely got that going for him, cheering him on in the background there. So ball low to Luke, and skimming what looked to be right across his feet. So Brandon Zebley, okay pitcher so far, but Luke's been making contact with pretty much everything he's thrown.
Here's a called strike 3. I don't know. Some fans and or coaches sat with him. They don't know what he was looking for, but
yeah, I mean
sometimes if you're geared up for a fastball and they come with something else, you could end up looking pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't know how far the placement's been today, but umpire, as far as just judging the way the coaches have reacted and the way the fans have reacted, has been pretty solid. That so far has been the only time that a player has gotten angry, a little upset over the call, and the coaches and the fans. So he had all 3 going for him that time. So hopefully it was the right call, but you never know.
Yeah, it's a big game. I mean, every little thing matters and everything's magnified.
And that ball's thrown in the dirt, so we have a runner's advance. So 2 outs and a man on third now. Norristown up by 4. 13-9.
Yeah, meanwhile, Stephen Parker, quite a while ago actually, headed back to the dugout after warming up the bullpen. We'll see if he is the pitcher next inning. I think that's quite possible.
It is possible. I mean, Slagolski just got out of that inning last time. Bases loaded, bases loaded, and full count. So he definitely came back and was able to secure that. And Norristown's definitely capitalized from that. I mean, now you said he could have gotten 4 or 5 runs from that, and he didn't.
Oh, my.
And that was a very close call at third. That was ridiculous. Parker was on the base, very far off the base. Ball was thrown to third, and it looks like the ball was there before he got there. But again, the tag is needed. It's not a force out if a player's not on the bag. So I think that's what happened, and it wasn't that. But it was extremely close, and the fans not reacting well to that. So
and too close for comfort. Just about got picked off at third.
Yeah, just about. And with 2 outs and a man up to bat. I mean, Brandon Bell's up to bat, so you don't want to see somebody just get off like that. So, I'm sorry, Ortiz was up to bat. Now he's on first. Man at first and third now.
Ortiz took the walk.
Brandon Bell made contact, but the ball's foul.
It seems like the hitters are a little out in front of some of the stuff. And that when Luke Stem looked at strike 3, I kind of felt like he was locked up by the off-speed pitch, but I don't know. And then Brandon Bell well out in front there, so let's see.
Brandon Bell hitting a high popper to second baseman. Looks like it's going to be caught, and it is. So that's just like that. Inning is over with 2 men left on. We have a 4-run game for Norristown ahead.
We'll have to see who they send out to the hill.
Yeah, who knows? So 2 controversial calls in that inning so far, with Parker at third and Luke Stem at home batting. Neither side seemed happy with that. First off, starting with Luke Stem. Second off, starting with the throw to Parker at third. Chichester did not agree with that call at all. But, I mean, you know, I guess it seems pretty fair so far, because just as we said, the only play that has been controversial so far today, just like that, you have another one for another side. So, reffing being pretty fair, officiating all around pretty decent.
Yeah, and speaking of controversy, they also have a little bit of beanball going on. I mean, a number of Chichester batters were grazed, and then Lavecchio was
nailed in the ribs.
Drilled, and Norristown not too pleased about that. So something to keep an eye on. I wouldn't expect.
I don't think anything should come of it.
At the high school level, you see a lot more hit batters and everything.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't expect much to come of it, but it's a thing to keep an eye on, like you said, with the controversial calls and the high tensions in this playoff game.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, it is Stephen Parker on the mound for the Eagles with the lead.
I don't know if they were expecting to use Parker today. He's as good of a pitcher, I would say, as Ryan Moore on a good day, and if not better. Probably one of the more premier pitchers that Norristown has. But I thought they maybe would have given him a little longer rest. He pitched the last game, I know, and I didn't think they would have placed him in today.
Well, yeah, I guess facing elimination, you have to use him. I mean,
you have to.
I mean, you could save him for next game, but then if you don't use him this game and you lose, there is no next game. So
yeah, absolutely.
I guess that's their logic.
And it makes sense. So.
Absolutely. Eddie Speakman will lead off the inning for Chichester. Again, facing Parker.
So in our last few innings here, Norristown up by 4 runs. So hopefully they can hold on to this lead that they have.
Well, the Eagles just a great job of battling back. They're down 6-0 early in this one as Parker deals a ball.
A wild pitch, but no one on. So hopefully he can calm down after that.
Yeah.
Parker, one of the more, he's a senior, so I mean he's been one of the more experienced players on the team. He can read that and know that he's got to slow things up.
Of course, there's some degree of nerve still, especially this being his first playoff game. But yeah, absolutely a good guy to have out there. He's senior with some experience. The Eagles with Ryan Moore not making it out of the first, giving up the 6th spot in the first, and the Eagles turned that 6-run deficit around and now lead by 4.
Yeah, but so far pitching so far by Stephen Parker not so well.
Yeah.
I think he's got 3 balls so far, so no strikes so far to 23 Eddie Speakman. So there we go. Now he's on. Now he's back. So 3-1 is the count. No runners on.
And we've had a lot of offense today, so this 4-run lead is certainly not safe, especially with giving up bases like that. And I'll tell you, 3 of Parker's pitches went to the backstop. That's
Yeah,
not a good sign.
I mean that's not what you want to see, especially just starting off the inning with the leadoff batter. You don't ever want to see the first 3-4 pitches thrown all balls. I mean, he had 1 strike in that 5 pitch, so.
Yeah, and leadoff walks are always scary because, I mean, of course you're putting a guy on, you're putting the leadoff guy on, but it has a mental effect on the pitcher too. And I don't know, sometimes it seems like they try to compensate too much and end up leaving something over the plate or maybe walking another guy, and it's usually just a domino effect.
And 39, Karinsky takes a low strike. So 1-1 is the count. Ball overthrown at first base, and Matt Martello gets there early enough to keep the runner at first base. So not a good jump by number 13 of Chichester, John McMullen, for running. He could have easily made it to third with Ian Hammer having to cover. Second. Ian Hammer covering second base, and Brandon Bell running into the outfield after the ball when Matt Martello was already at it. So. Not too good at base running, but not a very well thrown ball by Lavecchio. So
yeah, Lavecchio with the quick snap throw over to first, trying to catch the runner.
And if the ball was caught, it was close enough so that if it was caught, and there's the fake again at him. So John McMullen pulling some steam from Norristown's catching.
Oh yeah, and he's getting some big leads, some big jumps, but it's really not necessary. I mean, you have a 4-run deficit. What's getting from first to second really going to do for you?
It's not. If there was a 1-run game, maybe. Because then you have a runner in scoring position.
Absolutely. But in a 4-run game, the only run that really matters this late in the game is the 4th one. I mean, it's different.
If bases were loaded and somebody stole home, then yeah, that's a great play.
Right.
But I don't really see the point being the first person on the base, and a man now hitting, what is that, 3 foul? So he's got a full count. I think he's got 2 strikes definitely. So let's see what can come of it. The pitch. Parker looks down, see if McMullen was going to run. So McMullen shaking up the Norristown team here.
Yeah, they need to stop paying so much attention to him and go after the hitter, and boy.
And Krawinski ducking away from the pitch as a strike.
Yeah, he's ducked away from several pitches that have all been strikes or close. I don't know what he's trying to do, but
no, it was not a successful bat there. So, but now we have Tim's coming up. So Tim's moving from pitcher to somewhere on the field, and Parker's pitch, and it's a ball. And the ball hit, and caught. Almost caught, and it's still an out at second base. So the runner's not knowing where the ball was hit. Ian Hammer diving for the ball and catching it just off the edge of his glove. Ref signaling that it was not a caught ball. And John McMullen, who seemed to be pulling pretty good attention from Norristown staff on the field there, didn't really know that the ball was caught and continued and started running back to first base to tag up and caught with his. Not paying attention as much as he could have, and an out still comes of the non-caught ball. And a strike for Stephen Parker. That was an interesting play, though.
Oh, yeah, they got a break because the runner thought the ball was caught or could be caught and didn't want to get too far off first.
No.
And end up getting doubled off. But then at the same time, if it's short-hopped, he doesn't want to.
Yeah, I mean, that's bad luck for Chichester, I mean, here they are with a man on first, and they think, here's a great hit ball, and then Norristown pulls a play out like that. They just, diving catch. It looked like it was in his hand. I think it went in, and then as soon as he hit the ground, it came out. But, I mean, that's a tough play for Ian Hammer to get. But ball coming out of his glove still throws it to second, where Brandon Bell was where he should have been at second base, so they get the out.
Oh, yeah, the thing that gets lost in all that is that was an amazing stop by Ian Hammer.
And here's another awesome hit. Matt Martello, diving catch, and he's going to throw. And just like that, Matt Martello divots his knee into the ground, still catching the ball. So Matt Martello, the hero today, with a solo home run late in the third. And now with that awesome catch in right field. So Matt Martello definitely gaining the respect of everyone on and off the field. (13-9), Norristown on top.
Chichester running out of chances here as we get later and later into this game.
Yeah, I mean, the later we get, the less sun we have, the more it gets colder, and the players tire out. So definitely with that early lead helped them out. They had everything going for them. And then Tim's falling so far after coming so high. And Norristown just furthering this lead. Awesome defense played by Norristown that inning.
Yeah, you had the diving stab by Hammer, and then you had the sliding catch by Martello. So
I know, and
so Eagles
as you
flashing
can
some leather.
So we still have Zebley on the field. He's still pitching, and he did a pretty okay last round. I don't think he scored. He had any runs scored. So.
Yeah, after having a guy like Ryan Timms on the mound for so long, who throws so hard, I think some of the hitters had a hard time adjusting
to the way that Zebley was throwing.
Velocity or lack thereof, and it's not necessarily that's not necessarily a bad thing to be a slower thrower. I mean, you have guys who make careers off of that.
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
As long as you have
a good changeup, great curveball, things like that.
The deceptiveness, the break, the control, etc. But definitely contrasting styles, and the Eagles definitely had a hard time adjusting. Zebley with the first pitch of the inning, and it's high to Dinolfi. Dinolfi, the 9-hitter and the center fielder for the Eagles. He showed bunt on several occasions for the Eagles. Zebley, the 1-0 pitch. And it's fouled back into the cage, and it's 1-1 to Dinolfi. Eagles with the 4-run lead here late in this ball game, and Dinolfi and company just trying to add on to it in a game that's featured so much offense as Dinolfi swings through the pitch to make it 1-2. In a game featuring so much offense, you can never have too many runs. It'll be Dinolfi, then we'll go back to the top of the order with Hammer, Martello, and then Lavecchio if anybody could get on.
And very short hit ball by Antonoffy there. Seemed like it hit almost very close to his hands off the handle of that bat.
Oh, yeah, you got jammed. A good play there just to make contact and stay alive at 1-2.
And Dinolfi with a hit over first baseman. And flipping over first base with getting his feet caught up. He's just trying to get there. There was a question of whether it was interference or not, and it didn't look like the foot of first baseman number 31, Warren Wadley, whether he was on or not. I don't think it was. So.
Yeah, well, it was a terrible throw by second baseman, but and he was just trying to stay back on it, trying to handle the hop, and Dinolfi tripped over his ankle. And fortunately, everybody's okay. Those collisions at first base can be scary.
So here we are back at the top of the order and bottom of the 6th inning. Norristown up 13-9 to Chichester. So Ball hit right at pitcher Brandon Zebley and out for Ian Hammer. And here we have Matt Martella coming up to bat.
A heck of a defensive play by Zebley. I mean, he's done it all. Doing it on the mound, doing it in the field now, and, of course, homering in the first. Since that first inning, though, Chichester's been outscored 13-3.
Yeah. It's been a great showing today by Norristown. And Matt Martello is swinging for the fences, and that ball's popped high up over the backstop.
So Zebley's trying to complete what could be a quick inning. He's already got 2 down. And now Martello, the batter.
Ball low, but no man on, so no one should advance.
Zebley's looked really good this inning, getting 2 quick outs.
Matt Martello holding on, just hitting everything that comes close to it. So hopefully he can get an actual hit, put it into the field, put it in play.
Yeah, he's having a good at bat, making Zebley throw some pitches and then, keep fouling off good pitches and then hopefully get a mistake or get a bad pitch that you can drive somewhere.
And so Matt Martello, I don't even know how hard that ball was thrown.
Yeah.
It looked like he was just throwing it into the catcher or something, like it wasn't even going to be a pitch. And Matt Martello is striking him in the calf. So Matt taking it for the team literally. It didn't need to be hit. He just kind of just stood there, didn't move out of the way of it, got on base.
Yeah, and Zebley, as we mentioned on several occasions, does not throw hard. So I mean,
not after when Timms is up and it's throwing it the way he was for the first 5 innings.
And they'll take that base runner. They'll trade that any day of the week.
David Lavecchio up to bat now, swinging at the first pitch, and Matt Martello sliding back to first base. He's safe there though.
The Eagles just looking to tag on runs. And then the Chichester will have their final shot. We're in the bottom of the 6th. It's 13-9 Eagles.
And that ball is hit well, but grounded to first base. So we leave one on. David Vecchio getting a hit, but getting on base, but striking getting out.
Yeah, but that's a great inning for Brandon Zebley, keeping it at 4 runs and doing so rather effortlessly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he did have the one hit batter, but I mean, it
Right,
didn't. It wasn't. It
It
wasn't a hard thrown ball. Nobody cared that it hit him. So Matt Martello surely didn't care that it hit him. I think they would have cared more that it hit him than Matt did. I mean, it hit his cap. It barely. It looked like it would have bounced had he not been there. So.
And now Parker comes back out for his second inning of work, trying to close it down. Not technically a safe situation with the 4-run lead, but they're going to need everything.
3 outs and game's over for him, so top of the 6th.
And with the way this game's been going, anything can really happen.
Just want to make a note now of all the communications staff that's here today. We have an awesome group of people here. We have Joel Limbaugh up on the stilt getting the high shots for us, and we have myself, Andrew Turner, commentating, and Mark Kolodinsky also commentating. We have Samantha Pitkin on our switching, just making sure all these shots are lined up, and we have Sam Pitkin's sister, Sarah Pitkin, up. Getting all the wide shots of the field, and Rich Mack, of course. NESD TV staff coming out in full gear, rain or shine today. Hopefully it's not going to rain. With blue skies, I don't think so.
Well, this is the final shot for Chichester here, trying to keep their season alive. They got 3 outs. They got to score 4 runs. Doesn't look good for them.
So ball 4 taken low to number 1, Joe Perry.
And Joe Perry taking all the way there. Didn't even think about taking the bat off his shoulder on that particular pitch. As Parker showing a little bit of wildness in both of his innings, but he's kept it in check, and he's been pretty good aside from those sparse walks.
Fortunately, he favors the outer side, as you can tell. He hasn't been close to any batter yet. Strike there, good pitch. But if it were C.J. Douglas and he were that wild, more batters we would have seen hit. But because the way he pitches and the way he's been pitching, he's not going to hit anybody. There's a ball hit high to second baseman Brandon Bell. And Joe Perry runs back to first. So 1 down, 2 more to go for Norristown to advance.
Yeah, when Parker's not walking people, he's really good. It's really tough to hit him when he's he has got great stuff. It's really tough to hit him. You have to hope that he hurts himself with walks.
Which he did do when he first came in. He threw like 5-6 balls out of his first 7 pitches. You know, I mean, it wasn't anything impressive. It wasn't a good pitching change, I don't think. But as of now, it's a great pitching change. He's been doing what everyone else hasn't been doing. So
yeah, and when he was doing that, that's what's scary because that's his downfall. But like I said, he's kept it in check, and he has not given up a run.
And ball gets lost under Dave LaVecchio, and the runner will advance. So Joe Perry now at second. And number 7, Bill Marriott, the second baseman, up to bat.